Okay. I just want to really quickly. So this lab is even more cookbook style, like I said. So I just want to introduce it and talk about the expectations really quick, and then we can go around to helping individuals actually work on it. So, of course, with every lab, you go and you download the lab. Go to modules. Now what I've done is I've actually set it up so that when you click on Lab 2 here, you get the text of the lab link, and then one of the things that the book author did is he. So I told you. Okay, I'm kind of going all over the place. Sorry, it does sometimes. So here you can get the text of the lab and the data in that link. On another note, I told you that I modified a lot of the labs. Well, I went back and the book author actually made a bunch of videos for the labs for his course. And so I don't think I'm going to use, I'm still going to modify them a little bit, but I'm not going to modify them as much because these videos will be helpful to you as you go through here. So here's a link, and if you follow that link, it'll take you to some videos that actually help you through the lab. This last one doesn't really apply because I removed that portion of the lab, and that'll happen a few times in other labs. But anyway, that's a resource that you can utilize. Okay, so here when you click to download the lab, you're going to take the lab data, and remember you have to extract it or copy it to another location. So in my case, I'm going to put it in C, GIS, and copy and paste it right there. I already have one called Lab 2. I'm not sure why. I think that's for my other course. So now I've got it under L2. Okay. So I've got the data there, and I can just go ahead and open the ArcGIS document. I mean, sorry, the Word document. Okay, and then you'll see. So I'll view those later. You'll see here what you need to do. Okay. So you're going to do a few different exercises. You're gonna use a few different data sets and bring them in. You're gonna make this map of roads and lakes. You're gonna do some panning and some zooming. And you're gonna make a map. So one of the key concepts here is that you've got this data view, and then you've got the map view, data view and map view. So there's a one-to-one relationship. Last week, you did a little bit of manipulation with data frames. So each data frame, well, not each data frame, the data frames are what make up maps. So if you have multiple data frames, you can have multiple maps on the same page. But one data frame means one map on your page. All right, somebody just had this question. When you want to change the order of layers here, you have to make sure that you've pressed this first button. It says list by drawing order, rather than a second button that says list by source. Second button, first button. All right. So what your final product here is going to be is a map that looks like this. Now, what are you going to turn in? Well, it's going to walk you through exporting it to a shapefile. I mean, sorry, that's wrong. It's going to walk you exporting it as a PDF. Okay, what's a PDF? Anybody know what PDF stands for?
No, but I know you can't really mess with it
After you create it?
Yeah.
You can a little bit if you actually have Adobe Acrobat. PDF stands for Portable Document Format. And yeah, it's a little more locked down than like a Word document at that point. But a PDF can be opened in almost every web browser, so that's the nice thing about it. It's a format that was created by a software company called Adobe. But even though it's a proprietary format, it's almost become ubiquitous as a format to share documents. So you're going to take your file, you're going to export the map as a portable document format. And what that does is it turns it into, it's no longer a map document. When I bring it up, I can't see the data or anything. I can't zoom in and zoom out. But I'll have this. So this is your final project, your final product for that portion of the lab. Okay? Then you're going to save that project. This walks, I actually talked about this a little bit last week, but this text walks you through saving relative paths. Okay? Obviously, your path isn't going to look the same as this, but that's actually the book author's thing. We don't even have X drives here, but you could save it on C or D and E. That's what I'm saying right there. Okay? Whatever path your computer has. These all just have a C drive. The Coast, I think, has another drive, a D drive. Okay? Or you could save it onto your thumb drive, whatever drive that is. Okay, so this walks you through that process. Okay, there's really nothing to turn in for that. So technically you wouldn't have to do it, but it's a good exercise to learn what that means in ArcGIS. The second exercise, you're going to create another map. This one's going to be the wetlands of Hugo. Okay. These are actually the same data set that was used on the slide, the second slide of the class. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about coordinate systems, which is actually the topic of next week's lesson. You're going to measure some distances. There's also nothing to turn in terms of measuring the distances, but you're still going to create a final PDF of that map. So this is how your map should look that you're going to turn in. Now technically, this data set in the background, we'll talk more about what that is later, but this data set in the background, this green map, is, the lab talks a little bit about this, but it came from a scanned U.S. government map. So the U.S. government for years and years and years would create these, they called them digital raster graphics. That's what those are, DRGs. And it's just scanned in paper map. Each of these lines is a contour line that represents elevation. This is obviously a road. There's a few other lines on here. But this isn't an ArcGIS data layer. It's basically a raster data set. But in this case, the values in the raster are just colors that you can see on the map. Okay? All right, so that's a raster data set that you're going to use. You're going to learn how to create a scale bar. And then the streams on here and the roads are other vector data layers that you're going to add to the raster data map in the background. All right, and then at the end, you're going to learn how to put two maps on the same page. And then finally, to turn in. This is what you're going to turn in. It's going to be three maps: the lakes and the roads map, the wetlands map, and the Cloquet Forestry Center map. So you got these three maps. This says the lakes and roads, but that's a map with lakes and roads on it. The wetlands map, and finally the forestry map. So the three maps that you're making today. All right? Now, Canvas only lets you upload one file to complete the lab. You need to give me 3 files. Okay, how are you going to get around that? Exactly. You put it all in one big file. I don't mind either way. You can, I don't know if the software is on all these computers, but you could take a PDF and put 3 PDFs into one. Okay. That might be complicated, might be hard. I don't know exactly how to do it on these computers. I do know that I can do it on my copy of Adobe Acrobat in my office, but I don't think we have Adobe Acrobat on these computers. So let's just say we had our 3 files. I'm gonna go to C, cart, new. I'm gonna have 3 files here. These are my 3 pretend these are 3 PDF files right here. They're not. Whoops. Something just freaked out on my computer. Okay, let's just pretend. Well, this is a PDF file, but we'll pretend that these other 2 are also PDF files. 3 PDF files. In Windows Explorer, you can right-click and say send to compressed zip folder. And when you do that, it will zip them up. It may tell you that it has to put it in a different location. Here, in my case, it's saying I have to put it on the desktop. So that didn't work. So let me look at send it. Maybe it was one of those files. Yeah, so that worked. So it saved that zipped file right here. Now I have that zipped file. It couldn't add those other files. But it saves them all zipped up, and you can take that single zip file and upload it. So if you have problems with that, email me or talk to Elida. But the point here is that you're going to create 3 PDF files. You need to get them into one file, probably as a zip file. But if you have some other software that'll compile 3 PDF files, I don't really care. You can do that too. And then upload those to Canvas. How do you create a zip file? In Explorer, Windows Explorer, you find the 3 files. So here I'll go to these 3 files. Here's 3 files. I got 2 doc files and 2 JPEGs. I'm going to send them to a new compressed, right-click, send to compressed zip folder. Once I do that, it created this, it created it right here. Now I have those 3 files inside of that zip file. No, you don't have to put the data. I have the data. I mean, I'm the one that uploaded it. You're not modifying any data for this lab, so you just have to show me that you did it. All you have to do is to create the PDF files, the maps, which are, you create the map and then you export it to PDF, and you completed it. So it's a little. Last week it was a Word document with answers. This week it's 3 PDFs. Now, you could export it as something else. Like you can export it to JPEG. That's fine. The PDF is what I prefer. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have a general question about the lab expectations? All right. Well, I'll answer any questions that people have, and we'll run through the lab. Yeah, well, you can take anything you want. Well, what does a legend look like? Wow. Well, that's this. Yeah, I would say that. What does it look like on the map? I meant like yeah, so
45, right?
Don't take this over there. And then 44 is, I'm pretty sure.
No, I think it's going to be a lot shorter than that.
Now say next. Next. Create it.
That's
Go to lab and down. Towards, there it is.
I can't remember these things.
So they, yeah. So just, well, you don't put them out there. And name it 48. All right. I mean, it doesn't need to. You should try to make it look nice, but if you want to make it look more like that. It just, yeah, it looks good. Yeah. Anyway, there's a way to make it better. It's the best one. Yeah, yeah. From this place? Well, I mean, 6 is a little bit. You go by down. Yeah. Yeah, 6 is fine, but yeah. That's what you want to get more for your money. Don, are you in 6? How many hours are you in? I can find some. I can find some more online courses for you. Where's the strength? Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I am pretty, there's kind of stuff, still a bunch of stuff this semester, but, it'd be hard for me to come up with a lot. But,
I mean, biomass is over
I wouldn't mind
Yes.
supervising. I mean, I wouldn't mind if you just want to do a super new project.
I just,
I go down.
I wrote, that's simple math, but I mean, that's what I did. Don't have to follow my example. Do whatever you want. Show me choices. It's cool. What big for? Thank you. Other years. No.
Well, imagine, I'm being employed in this call. But, in other words, I've never stopped the video, the recording. I'll do that real quick.
Oh, that's fine.